My name is Maya. I am 27 years old. I live in a small beach town. The town is very quiet and peaceful. The ocean is close to my home, and I can hear the waves every morning when I wake up. I love that sound. It makes me feel calm and happy. I have a boyfriend. His name is Ben. We have been together for 4 years now. We live together in a small house near the beach. The house is old, but it is very nice. It has blue walls, white windows, and a little garden in the front. The garden has beautiful red flowers that Ben planted last year. I water them every day and they make me smile. I really love our house. It feels like home. I work in a bakery near the beach. Every morning I ride my bike to work. The ride takes about 15 minutes and I enjoy it very much. I like my job a lot. I make bread, cakes, and cookies. The smell of fresh bread in the morning makes me so happy. My boss is an old woman named Mrs. Rosa. She is very kind and patient. My coworkers are also very nice. We laugh together and help each other. Every day I start work at 7 in the morning and finish at 3 in the afternoon. I am not rich, but I have enough money to live well. I am very happy with my life. Ben works at the harbor fixing boats. He is very good at his job. People trust him because he is honest and works hard. He is strong, calm, and kind. I love Ben very much. Every evening we cook dinner together. After dinner, we often walk on the beach and watch the sunset. We talk about our day, our dreams, and our future. Life feels simple and good. I am very happy. I also have a best friend. Her name is Nina. She is 26 years old. Nina and I have been best friends for 8 years. We met at work when I first started at the bakery. She is like a sister to me. I love Nina very much. She is one of the most important people in my life. Nina visits us very often. She comes to our house 3 times every week. We sit in the garden, drink coffee, and talk about everything. We laugh a lot together. Ben likes Nina too, and Nina likes Ben. The 3 of us are like a small family. I feel so lucky to have both of them in my life. Every day is good. I think my life is perfect. I think nothing can go wrong. But then things started to change. The changes were small at first. They were quiet. I did not see them clearly. I did not understand what was happening. Ben started coming home late. Before, he always came home at 5 o'clock, but now he came home at 7 or sometimes even 8 o'clock. I asked him why he was late. He said work was very busy. He said many boats needed fixing. I believed him. I trusted Ben completely. Ben also started looking at his phone more than usual. He looked at his phone all the time. At dinner, he looked at his phone. On the sofa, he looked at his phone. Sometimes he smiled at his phone, and I did not know why. I asked him what was funny. He said nothing. He said it was just a joke or a message from work. I believed him, but something felt strange. I could not explain it, but something felt wrong. Ben also stopped talking to me as much as before. Before, we talked all the time. We talked about our day, our dreams, our plans, and everything else. But now, Ben was very quiet. He sat on the sofa and looked at the TV, but I do not think he was really watching it. I think he was thinking about something else. I asked him if he was okay. He said yes. He said he was just tired. He said work was hard. I wanted to believe him. I tried very hard to believe him, but I felt worried. I felt cold inside. Something was wrong. I knew it. I could feel it. I decided to talk to Nina about it. Nina came to visit one afternoon. We sat in the garden and drank coffee together. I told her everything. I told her that Ben was coming home late every day. I told her that he was always looking at his phone. I told her that he did not talk to me anymore. Nina listened carefully. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said I should not worry. She said Ben loved me very much. She said men are sometimes like this when they are tired or stressed. She said Ben just needed time. She said everything would be okay soon. I felt a little better after talking to Nina. Nina was my best friend. She knew me very well, and she knew Ben too. She would not lie to me. Friends do not lie to each other. I trusted Nina completely, so I decided to wait. I decided to be patient. I smiled at Ben. I cooked his favorite food. I was kind and supportive. I did not ask him too many questions. I gave him space. I hoped that things would get better soon. But Ben was still different. He still came home late. He still looked at his phone all the time. He still did not talk to me. Our house started to feel different too. Before, it felt warm and happy. Now it felt empty and sad. Nina continued to visit us. She came to our house 3 times every week, just like before. She was very nice to me. She hugged me, asked how I was, and told me not to worry. She kept saying that Ben loved me and that everything was fine. I believed her. But I started to notice something strange. When Nina was at our house, Ben was different. He smiled more. He talked more. He laughed. Ben and Nina talked together a lot. They laughed together. Sometimes I did not understand their jokes. Sometimes they looked at each other in a strange way. I started to feel like an outsider. These were my 2 favorite people in the world, but when they were together, I felt alone. One day I was cleaning the house. I found a small piece of paper on the table. It was a receipt from a jewelry store. The receipt was for silver earrings, but the receipt had Ben's name on it. The next day, I saw Nina wearing new silver earrings. My heart stopped. Ben had bought Nina's earrings. Why? Why would Ben buy Nina earrings? My hands started to shake. I tried to think. Maybe it was a birthday gift. Yes, that must be it. Nina's birthday was coming soon. Ben was just being nice. That was all. Nothing more. I tried to forget about it, but I could not forget. The thought stayed in my mind. I decided to do something to fix our relationship. I planned a surprise for Ben. I planned a trip, just the 2 of us, a weekend away. No work, no phones, no friends, just Ben and me. We needed this. Our love needed this. Maybe this trip would fix everything. I told Ben about the trip. He said yes. He said it was a good idea. He said he wanted to go. I was so happy. I booked a small hotel near the mountains. The hotel was beautiful and romantic. I was so excited. I believed this trip would fix everything. The day of the trip came. I packed our bags. I was ready. Ben was at work. He said he would come home at 4 o'clock. Then we would leave together. I waited. I cleaned the house. I put on a nice dress. I looked at the clock. It was 4 o'clock, then 5 o'clock, then 6 o'clock. Where was Ben? Then Ben called. My heart knew before he even spoke. He said he was sorry. He said he could not come. He said work needed him. He said there was a big problem. He said we could go next week instead. Next week, always next week. Something broke inside me. I said okay. I said goodbye. I ended the call. I sat on the floor. I cried for a long time. Then I stopped crying. I stood up. I made a choice. I would leave. Just for a few days. I would visit my parents. I needed to think. I needed to be away from here. I packed a small bag. I left the next morning. I got in my car and drove away. I drove for about 1 hour. Then I remembered something. I had forgotten something at home. It was a gift for my mother. Her birthday was next week. I had to get it. I turned the car around and drove back home. I parked my car in front of the house. I walked to the door. I used my key and opened the door very quietly. The house was dark and quiet. Then I heard something. Music. Soft music. It was coming from the living room. Why was there music? I walked slowly toward the living room. My heart was beating very fast. Something felt wrong. I felt scared, but I did not know why. I walked to the living room door. I stopped. I looked inside. I saw the sofa. I saw two people on the sofa. The music was playing softly. I looked closer. It was Ben. It was Nina. They were sitting very close together. They were not talking. They were kissing. Their eyes were closed. The kiss was long and slow. I stopped. I could not move. I could not breathe. I could not think. I just looked. My boyfriend, my best friend, together, kissing on my sofa in my home. My heart did not break. It just disappeared. It turned into nothing. The music kept playing. The world kept moving. But I was frozen. I was ice. I was stone. Then Ben opened his eyes. He saw me. His face changed completely. He looked shocked. He looked scared. He jumped up from the sofa. He said my name. Maya. His voice was shaking. Nina opened her eyes. She saw me. She started to cry immediately. She said she was sorry. She said it over and over again. Sorry, sorry, sorry. But sorry meant nothing now. Sorry was just a word, an empty word. I did not cry. I did not scream. I felt nothing. I was completely empty inside. I looked at them. I had loved these two people more than anyone in the world, but I did not know them now. They were strangers to me. Ben walked toward me. He tried to touch me. I stepped back. I said, "Do not touch me." My voice was very quiet. My voice was very cold. Nina cried more. She stood up from the sofa. She said, "Please forgive me. I am your best friend. I love you." But her words were lies. Friends do not do this. Friends do not kiss your boyfriend. Love does not look like this. I looked at Nina. I said, "Go home." She cried, but she left. She walked out the door. Now it was just Ben and me. Ben talked and talked. He said it was a mistake. He said it meant nothing. He said he loved me. He said, "Please stay. Please forgive me." But I did not hear him. His words were just noise. I said I needed to be alone. I walked to the bedroom. I closed the door. I locked it. Ben knocked on the door. He called my name over and over again, but I did not answer. I sat on the bed. I looked at the wall. I did not cry. I was too empty to cry. I sat there all night. I thought about everything, every lie, every smile, every hug. It was all fake. My perfect life was not real. It was just a dream. No, it was a lie. The sun came up. Morning came. I stood up. I knew what I had to do. I opened the door. Ben was there. He was sitting on the floor outside the bedroom. He looked terrible. He stood up. He said, "Please, can we talk?" I said, "It is over, Ben." My voice was calm. My voice was strong. He started to cry. He said, "No, please, I will change, I promise." But I did not listen. I walked to the table. I took my key, the house key. I put it on the table. I said, "Goodbye, Ben." He cried more. He said my name, but I did not look back. I picked up my bag. I walked out the door. I got in my car and drove away. I drove to my parents' house. They were so happy to see me. They hugged me. They did not ask questions. They could see that I was hurting. My mother made tea. My father sat next to me. They just stayed there. They just loved me. That was enough. I stayed with my parents for 2 weeks. I cried a lot during those 2 weeks. Some days I was very sad. Some days I was very angry. Some days I felt nothing at all. But every day I felt a little bit stronger. Then I went back to my town. But I did not go back to Ben. I did not go back to my parents. I did not go back to my I found a new apartment. It was very small. It had one room, one small kitchen, and one bathroom. But it was mine. Only mine. No lies here, no secrets, just me and the truth. The first weeks in my new apartment were very hard. I was alone. The apartment was empty. I had no furniture. I slept on the floor. But slowly I started to buy things. A bed, a table, a chair. I made the apartment my home. Little by little, it started to feel like mine. I went to work every day. Work was good. Work kept me busy. Mrs. Rosa was very kind to me. She did not ask questions. She just let me work. After work, I went home to my apartment. I ate dinner alone. I watched TV alone, but I was okay. I was surviving. One day I walked past a small shop. The sign said art class. I stopped and looked inside. People were painting. They looked happy. They looked peaceful. Something pulled me inside. A woman smiled at me. She had gray hair and kind eyes. She said, "Do you want to try painting?" I said, "Maybe." She said, "We have a class tonight. It is for beginners." I thought about it for a moment. Why not? I said, "Yes, I will come." I went to the class that night. The teacher was very kind. She showed us how to hold the brush. She showed us how to paint. I took a brush in my hand. I put paint on the paper. The colors were bright. Red, blue, yellow, green. I painted and painted. When I painted, I did not think about Ben. I did not think about Nina. I only thought about the colors. For the first time in weeks, my mind was quiet. For the first time in weeks, I felt a little bit of peace. I came back to the art class every week. Painting made me feel better. Painting made me feel alive again. When I painted, I was free. I was myself again. I met a woman in the class. Her name was Eleanor. She was old, maybe 65 years old. She had white hair and the kindest eyes I had ever seen. She smiled a lot. One day she sat next to me. She said, "Your painting is very nice." I said, "Thank you." We painted together. After class, Eleanor asked me to have tea. I said yes. We went to her house. Her house was small but very warm. We drank tea together. We talked. She told me about her life. Her husband had died 5 years ago. She was very sad. But art helped her. It gave her something to do, something to love. I told her my story. I told her about Ben and Nina. She listened. She did not judge. She just listened. It felt so good to talk. Eleanor and I became friends, real friends. We had tea every week. She taught me that friendship can be simple. Friendship can be true. Not all friends betray you. Some friends stay. Months passed, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I started to feel better. Not happy yet, but better, stronger. I started to smile more. I started to laugh more. I was finding myself again. My painting got better and better. I painted flowers, I painted trees, I painted the ocean, I painted my feelings. The paintings were beautiful. Eleanor said I should sell them. I laughed. But then I thought, why not? I went to a market. It was on Saturday. Artists sold their work there. I took my paintings. I set up a small table. People walked by. They looked at my paintings. They smiled. Some people stopped. Some people bought my paintings. They actually bought them. I had made something, and people wanted it. I felt so proud. I felt so happy. Every Saturday I went to the market. I sold my paintings. I talked to people. I smiled. I laughed. I was living again, really living. One Saturday, a man came to my table. He was tall. He had dark hair and a kind face. He smiled at me. He looked at my paintings. He picked up one painting. It was a painting of the sunrise over the ocean. He smiled. He said, "This is beautiful." "Did you paint this?" I said, "Yes." He said, "It is very special. I will buy it." I wrapped the painting. He paid me. He said, "My name is Daniel." I said, "I am Maya." He said, "Nice to meet you, Maya. Your paintings are wonderful." I said, "Thank you." Then he said something that surprised me. He said, "Would you like to have coffee sometime? Maybe next week?" I stopped. I felt scared. Coffee meant a date. A date meant opening my heart again. A date meant trusting someone new. Could I trust again? I did not know. My heart beat fast. But then I thought, I was broken. But now I am strong. I was lost. But now I am found. I can try. It is just coffee. One small step. I looked at Daniel. He looked nervous. He was waiting. I took a deep breath. I said, "Yes, coffee sounds nice." He smiled. His smile was big. He looked so happy. He said, "Great. Can I have your number?" I gave him my number. He said, "I will call you." He waved goodbye and walked away with my painting. I stood there. I felt many things: fear, hope, excitement. It was just coffee. But for me, it was big. It was a new start. The next Tuesday, Daniel called me. He said, "Are you free on Saturday?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Let's meet at the coffee shop near the park." I said, "Okay." He said, "I am excited to see you." I said, "Me too." Saturday came. I picked a simple blue dress. I looked in the mirror. I looked okay. I looked like me. I left my apartment and walked to the coffee shop. The sun was warm on my face. I felt nervous, but I also felt excited. I arrived at the coffee shop. I looked inside. I saw Daniel. He was sitting at a small table near the window. He wore a gray shirt. He looked nice. He saw me and stood up. He waved. I waved back. I walked inside. He smiled at me. He said, "Hello, Maya. You look very nice." I said, "Thank you. You look nice too." He pulled out a chair for me. I sat down. He sat down too. We ordered our drinks. Then we talked. We talked about many things. We talked about our jobs. We talked about our families. Daniel told me about his dog. His dog's name was Max. Max was 5 years old. He was very friendly. Daniel loved Max very much. I smiled. I said, "Dogs are nice." He said, "Maybe you can meet Max one day." I said, "I would like that." We talked for 2 hours. Time moved fast. I felt comfortable. I felt safe. Daniel was easy to talk to. He listened. He laughed at my stories. I laughed at his stories. Then I looked at my watch. It was late. I said, "I should go home now." He said, "Let me walk you to your car." I said, "Thank you." We left the coffee shop. We walked together. The sun was lower now. The light was soft and golden. We reached my car. I turned to Daniel. I said, "Thank you for today. I had a nice time." He said, "Me too. Can we do this again?" I said, "Yes. I would like that." He smiled. He said, I will call you." I said, "Okay." He said, "Goodbye, Maya." I said, "Goodbye, Daniel." I got in my car. I drove away. I looked in the mirror. He was still standing there. He was still smiling. I smiled too. I did it. I went on a date. I opened my heart just a little. And it was okay. It was good. Daniel and I saw each other more and more. We had coffee together every week. Sometimes we walked on the beach. Sometimes we just sat and talked. He was patient with me. He understood that I needed time. He was kind and gentle. He made me laugh. He made me feel safe. Slowly, very slowly, I started to trust again. Months passed. Daniel and I became closer. One day, Daniel said something important. He said, "Maya, I think I am falling in love with you." My heart stopped. I looked at him. He looked nervous. He said, "You do not have to say anything now. I just wanted you to know." I thought about it. I thought about Ben and how he said he loved me, but his love was fake. But Daniel was different. Daniel showed me love every day through his actions. He was patient. He was kind. He was honest. He never lied to me. He made me feel valued and loved. I took a deep breath. I said, "Daniel, I think I am falling in love with you too." His face lit up. He smiled the biggest smile. He said, "Really?" I said, "Yes, really. You make me happy. You make me feel safe. You make me feel loved. Real love. Honest love." He hugged me. We held each other for a long time. I felt tears in my eyes, but they were happy tears. A year passed. My life was completely different now. I still worked at the bakery. I still painted. I still sold my paintings at the market. But now I had Daniel. We moved in together. We found a small house near the beach. It had a garden. It had big windows. The sun came in every morning. It felt like home, a real home. Eleanor still visited us often. She loved Daniel. She said he was perfect for me. She said she could see that I was truly happy now. She was right. I was happy, really happy. One evening, Daniel and I sat in our garden. The sun was setting. The sky was beautiful, orange and pink. Daniel held my hand. He said, "Maya, I want to ask you something." He stood up. My heart started to beat fast. He reached into his pocket. He pulled out a small box. He got down on one knee. My hands covered my mouth. He opened the box. Inside was a simple, beautiful ring. He said, "Maya, you are the strongest, most beautiful person I have ever met. You have been through so much pain, but you did not let it break you. You built yourself back up. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?" Tears ran down my face, happy tears. I said, "Yes, yes, Daniel, I will marry me." He stood up and put the ring on my finger. He kissed me. I felt so much love, so much joy, so much peace. I thought back to that terrible day when I saw Ben and Nina kissing on my sofa. I thought about how broken I felt, how lost I felt. I thought I would never be happy again. I thought I would never trust again. I thought I would never love again. But I was wrong. Pain does not last forever. Betrayal does not define you. You can heal, you can grow, you can find yourself again. You can build a new life, a better life, a real life. Ben and Nina taught me something important. They taught me that not all love is real. Not all friendship is true. Some people lie. Some people betray you, but that does not mean everyone will. Daniel taught me something too. He taught me that real love exists. Real love is patient. Real love is kind. Real love is honest. Real love does not hide. Real love does not lie. Real love stays. Eleanor taught me that friendship can be simple and true, that not all friends will hurt you. Some friends will stay by your side. My art taught me that I can create beauty from pain. I can express my feelings. I can heal myself. I can find peace. Now, as I sit here in my garden with Daniel, I feel complete. I feel whole. I feel happy. Not the fake happiness I had with Ben. That happiness was built on lies. This happiness is real. This happiness is built on truth and honesty. I am not perfect. I still have bad days. Sometimes I still think about Ben and Nina. Sometimes I still feel the pain. But those moments are fewer now. And when they come, I remember how far I have come. I remember how strong I am. I remember that I survived. I survived the pain. I survived the betrayal. I survived the loneliness. And I did more than just survive. I grew. I changed. I became a better version of myself. I became the real Maya, the true Maya, the strong Maya. If you're listening to this and you have been hurt like I was hurt, I want you to know something. You will be okay. You will survive. You will heal. It will take time. It will be hard. Some days will be very dark, but please do not give up. The pain you feel now will not last forever. I promise you that. One day you will wake up and the pain will be a little bit less. And then one day you will realize that you are okay. You are strong. You are whole again. Do not be afraid to be alone. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. Sometimes you need to be alone to find yourself again. Do not be afraid to trust again. Yes, some people will hurt you, but not everyone will. There are good people in this world. There are honest people. There are people who will love you the right way. I found Daniel. You can find someone too. Find something that makes you happy. For me, it was painting. For you, it might be something else. Music, writing, dancing, cooking, walking, whatever it is, do it. Do it every day. Let it heal you. And remember, your story is not over. This is not the end. This is just the middle. This is the hard part. But after the dark comes the light. After the pain comes the healing. After the ending comes the new beginning. I look at my life now. I am married to Daniel. We have a beautiful daughter named Hope. We have a home filled with love and honesty. I teach painting classes to help other women heal. I wrote a book about my journey. I help people every day. My old life with Ben was not real. It was built on lies. But my life now is real. It is built on truth. It is built on real love. Ben and Nina taught me what I did not want. Daniel taught me what real love looks like. Eleanor taught me what real friendship is. My art taught me that I can heal myself. I am not the same Maya anymore. The old Maya trusted too much. The old Maya did not see the truth. But the new Maya is strong. The new Maya is wise. The new Maya knows that love must be real, friendship must be true, and life must be honest. I survived the pain. I survived the betrayal. I survived the loneliness. And I did more than survive. I grew. I changed. I became better. So if you are hurting right now, please listen to me. You will survive this. You will heal from this. You will be happy again. The pain will not last forever. You are stronger than you know. You are braver than you think. Keep going. Keep breathing. Keep living. Your best days are still ahead of you. Your real love is still waiting for you. Your true happiness is coming. I promise you. Just like the sun rises every morning after the darkest night, your life will get bright again. You will smile again. You will laugh again. You will love again. This is not the end of your story. This is just the beginning. The end. Thank you for listening to my story. If this story touched your heart or gave you hope, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, pain does not last forever. Real love exists. You are strong enough. Keep going. Your story is not over.